Hey mamas, are you getting really worn out and tired with negotiating with your children? Like they ask for something and you say no, and then thus ensues a long questioning time of why not and convincing you that you should say yes, and a lot of back and forth and a lot of tiring stuff, and then finally you give in and you say yes, and then everybody's tired and everybody's unhappy, and you're like, how did that happen? Right? So, watch this video for one very, very simple tip. One simple tip that will eliminate a lot of the negotiating that goes on in your home with your children. So, I learned this tip when my firstborn was young, which is good. I learned it early on. Hopefully, you will learn it early on as well. Because my daughter would ask for things. She would ask for things, and I also had a new baby at the time, and I couldn't always do everything. So, whenever my daughter would ask for anything, my automatic response would be no. Whatever she would ask, it would just be no, right? Just no, right? And then she would, it wouldn't make sense. And she would just like, well, why can't we do that? And if we just do this and that, and can't we do that? And please, can we do that? Please, right? And I get worn out and I'm like, oh, okay, we can do it. And then we would do whatever it was a craft activity or whatever it was. And I would realize, well, that wasn't so bad, right? That was pretty easy to do. I should have just said yes and done it to begin with, right? And then it hit me that, wow, if I could just stop whenever my daughter asks for anything, if I could just stop and think about it, and before saying no, to actually think, is this something I really need to say no for? Or can I say yes for this? Can I actually say yes right away so that there's no negotiation? And it was like this big epiphany. It was life changing. I'm telling you, it was life changing. Because doesn't it say in the Bible in Matthew 5:37, let your yes be yes and your no be no? So if we're telling our kids no right away as our automatic default answer, right? It's no good. It's no good. It's kind of making us out to be liars, and it's just inviting negotiating and arguing and all that stuff that just tires you out as a mother. It is so tiring, right? Really? That is tiring. Now, this may take a while to become a habit. So, what I did to make this super easy was I had this big whiteboard on the refrigerator. It was for to-do lists, things I needed to do that day. I would write it on the whiteboard, huge whiteboard. Help me remember stuff, right? So what I did was I wrote real big on that whiteboard right there in the refrigerator, think before saying no. Think before saying no. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Don't automatically say no. So whenever my daughter would ask for something, right? Can we get the paint out, or can we get the Play-Doh out, or can we go outside, or whatever it was, right? I would stop. I would see that message to myself on the refrigerator, and I would think, is this a reasonable request? Is this something I can do now? Is this something that I can say yes to, but we could schedule it for later, right? Do I really need to say no to this request? And a lot of times I didn't need to say no. A lot of times I could say yes. And everybody was much happier. Now, of course, there's times you do have to say no, that you can't do something, and that's okay. But you know what? Now that you're in the habit of saying yes, and your child learns that your yes means yes and your no means no, now you have just eliminated a lot of potential negotiating, which is tiring, very tiring. tiring, very tiring. You're so tired, Mama, you're so tired. You're not getting any sleep as it is, right? You don't need to be worn down by a preschooler or toddler or young child, right? Just begging for stuff and wearing you down and trying to give you all of their, I don't know what that was, try all of the reasons to convince you to say yes. Because now they know all they have to do when mom says no is to just convince her and to wear her down until she says yes, right? And they realize that your word doesn't mean anything, that your no doesn't mean anything because they can just talk you out of it. So again, this is so easy just to eliminate it. And a lot of it is habit. And if you have a big whiteboard, you can put on your refrigerator or wherever it is that you're going to see it, put that message there for yourself. Think before saying no. And it's just amazing how this will change things. So you know your yes means yes and your no means no, and your child knows when your yes that your yes means yes and your no means no. And that will again put an end to all of that conflict, all of that negotiating, all of that arguing, and your home and your life will be so much more peaceful. So give it a try. Give it a try and let me know how it works for you. All right, till next time.